looks to stay on top. Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football, breaking down Oklahoma football. We've got Jason Ray on the line from Last Word on College Football. Of course, join us on a regular basis here for the best discussion, debate, and analysis. Smash that like button to help out the channel. Jason, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, Mark. How are you doing?
I'm doing just fine. Recruiting kind of anticlimactic toward National Signing Day on Wednesday, with just about everybody signed, but we've got one particular player, and maybe I'll let you do the honors in trying to pronounce his name, or maybe I should try to play the professional and pronounce his name. Let me see. We've got David Ogbugwu, possibly weak side defensive end, number 25 ranked according to 247 Sports, out of Katy, Texas.
Yeah, I think he was a good get for Oklahoma. As you mentioned, he's the lone signee of the late, which was obviously the normal signing period before, but of the later signing period right now. Oklahoma did a lot of their damage early on in the signing period. So they have, as you mentioned, he's a defensive end. He's a big. He jumped up the ratings. I think he was as kind of the season started, he was a kind of a pretty low-level 3-star at that point. So he jumped. I think he had the opportunity to go through a lot of the camps from the summer. So he jumped pretty significantly throughout the year up to a 4-star. Obviously, it's certainly a position of need on the Sooner defensive line. Obviously, I think with his talent and his aggressiveness, he's a very good pass rusher. Very, very high motor type of guy when you look at his film. So, he'll battle with kind of the likes of Jalen Redmond, Ron Tatum, a couple of guys that Ron Tatum was a local kid who redshirted last year. Jalen Redmond this year had a health issue that kind of prohibited him from playing, from really competing and doing a whole lot of around the defensive line, but should have every opportunity to battle for a starting spot initially. Another guy that might be in the mix that doesn't look like he's going to start or he's going to commit until the summer is Brandon Pierce. He's a JUCO wide receiver. Really kind of in the mold of Hollywood Brown, Marquise Brown. He actually he's actually clocked at a little bit a little bit higher of a speed than Hollywood. It's in this day and age, it's I guess not as far that he's clocked at about a 4.27, which is, I think if we think about even 5-10 years ago, that's just something that I don't know that many of us would have believed. But I think that with the training and how kids learn how to run a lot younger more, so that Oklahoma's definitely not devoid on talent on the receiving side of things, but I think they're anticipating a little bit of kind of some defections from that team. There was from the wide receiver core, Jalen Robinson, which he was currently this year. He has entered the transfer portal. So there's a couple of guys I think that they anticipate that might leave. So that opens an additional spot for Brandon Pierce to come in.
Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football, talking up the Sooners with Jason Ray from Last Word on College Football. I actually, speaking of Hollywood Brown, heard Todd McShay make a comment this week that he's one of the fastest wide receivers that he has seen on tape coming out of college football. He doesn't really care what the clock says at the NFL scouting combine in February in Indianapolis, that just watching him play in pads, playing football, that he's one of the very top end wide receivers in terms of speed that he's ever seen and ever scouted. Talking about the wide receiver position, you had mentioned to me before we started to record that there may be more help coming from the junior college ranks, and you're also excited about the early enrollees, in which there are 9 total, but specifically at the wideout spot.
Yeah, absolutely, Martha. 4. So there's 3 wide receivers at the tight end, Austin Stock coming in early. So they're all obviously enrolled now. They're all practicing. They're all as part of the kind of the spring conditioning, spring program. So Theo Weiss, Jaden Hazelwood, and Trajan Bridges on campus. All three of the five-star receivers that came in early. So it's a really good opportunity, obviously, for players that young to be able to come in early. You know, it makes a world of difference to get that spring under your belt, to be able to, especially as you kind of grow that rapport, gain that kind of confidence as you work with the quarterbacks and work with the team early in the year. And then also that off-season conditioning program gets gets them more acclimated to the college game. I mean, I think there was early on. I think it was posted a few weeks ago. CeeDee Lamb posted a Instagram picture with him and some of the receivers, and you can tell the difference in a third year body from CeeDee Lamb versus a first year Theo Weiss or a first year Jaden Hazelwood. So that will be super beneficial getting them in and getting them through that workout program. It'll be interesting how that manifests itself this fall from a depth chart perspective. They're buried on the depth chart now because obviously they got to start somewhere. They got to earn their right. It's hard to envision at the very least Weiss and Hazelwood not seeing action, or at the very least, or if maybe not starting come fall, just because of their Hazelwood's the number one receiver in the country. Theo Weiss was the number 3 receiver overall in the country. So having those folks available early on is gonna. You got to think that will speak dividends as the season starts with a new quarterback.